Hi everyone, my name's Nick and this is Average Nerd DIY. Today I'm going to be showing you how I use an endoscope to figure out where I'm drilling in a wall or where I'm going to be cutting for more major holes. Today we are going to be working on getting rid of this wall, and so before I do that I want to find a nice straight line along this wall so that I can cut away back to some of the good and then get rid of all of the bad on a nice clean line so that we don't have, a bunch of tear out and a bunch of issues to fix later. And so before I do that, I want to use my endoscope, which I don't have in my hands right now, it's on the floor. But what we do to start this process, because I want to be near a stud, I'm going to put some backer boards in between two studs. And so I want to be near a stud, but not right on top of it. And so I'm using my stud finder, which is a little unreliable on these walls. That's part of the reason I'm using the endoscope and this. But so we're going to use a stud finder, just slide it along, and you can see, obviously I already drilled a hole right there, but you can see we've got a stud right about in line with there. And then keep going, and you can see it's kind of popping up false positives just because of how thick the plaster is. But that line is pretty much the same. And so all I would do, drill a hole in. This is a 3/8 inch drill bit. It's going to vary based on the endoscope you're using. The one I'm using today, I think it was about 30 bucks on Amazon. This was before all the tariff shenanigans, so no clue how much they cost now, but I'll put a link in the description if I can find it. But anyway, so it's pretty simple. It's got a camera end, obviously, and then it's got a little light on it, which is handy for going into smaller holes like this. So now I've got my hole drilled, excuse me, and it's sticking to the carpet. I want to, so Emma, if you can get that screen a bit. So the first thing I want to do before I actually go in is just make sure I've got things oriented right. And so you can see I've got, this window as a reference point, so we're going pretty straight up and down. The picture is not super clear, but it's typically enough. Oh, look at that, trippy. It's typically clear enough to figure out what we need to. And so now I'm going to put the endoscope into the hole. You should be focused on this, Emma. And so you can see we've got the initial wall, and there's the back side of the wall. So we're seeing some of the brick and mortar. And I'm just trying to, oh yeah, okay, so I got sideways. I thought I was sideways, but so now we can see there's the brick, there's the mortar. We can see the stud on this side, which is the framing for the window. And then what I'm going to do now, just to see to the side there, is I'm going to just turn it like this. We're going to feed it into the hole. And then I can see very clearly that there's a stud right there. And so the other trick I like to use when I'm like unsure of what's in the hole or what's in the wall, ooh, that looks fun. We're going to find all sorts of cool stuff in there. And by cool, I mean absolutely disgusting. But anyway, what I like to do is use that trick. So it got kind of bent up, but we put it at a right angle like that. We stick it in, we feed it in, and then I rotate it up. And so then this way, I can see what's going on above, and it's definitely something that requires a bit of practice to figure out, how to maneuver it. But I've gotten relatively okay with it. And so what you can use this for, like the primary use for this is just locating electrical wires. In this case, I know that there is no electrical running through here just based on what I've seen in the basement, what I've seen in the attic. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least in this section from there to there, there's no outlets, there's no lights that are running through here, and I'm pretty sure everything is running that way. And so now what we're going to do, which is going to be a separate video, is I'm going to cut a hole all the way up here, or a channel all the way up here, and then we're going to remove all of the plaster to that side. But anyway, once again, this is it's not the end-all be-all, but it is a pretty great way of drilling into a wall with relatively little risk. When I push through that hole, I just go like just barely through or just barely past the point of resistance, and then I pull back right away, use the camera, get in there, make sure there's no pipes, make sure there's no electrical wiring, and then I can avoid, making any issues. This hole is a little bit bigger than you might typically need, but for this, that's just the size that works the best. So if you found this helpful, make sure to like and put a comment. If there are better tricks you've found, please make sure to let me know down in the comments. And any likes and subscribes are appreciated, so we will see you in the next video.